Michael Kielsky's running for county attorney against Bill Montgomery, which needs Michael Kielsky running against him. And it's between the Libertarian and the Republican. Okay? So this is going to be interesting.
All right, we just took delivery of a whole bunch of these signs here. You will see them all over town by the end of the weekend, by Monday at the latest.
So you have some smaller yard signs, Michael?
I do, but they're not like this. They're just the handmade ones. I've got a few of those left. And again, we've been having sign-making parties. I didn't see you there. And you can go on my website. It's on there, Kielsky.com. You can go on my website and you can download. It's a PDF that prints out on 4 pages. You just slap it on any old yard sign from election from a few years ago, or if you happen to find a Bill Montgomery sign that somebody left in your front yard, you just take that and put my poster over it if you want. I don't know. I have nothing to do with that. Just print it out. You go. You can make your own yard signs. Same thing. I've got the yard signs. Downloadable. You print them out off my website. Look, I mean,
you got to tell me about this down by the river, man. What is that?
I'm sorry, which one?
That graphic.
That? I mean, okay. That's a little thing I made. Click on that one. And there's
that's from Saturday Night Live. That's Farley, he's a motivational speaker. I live down by the river in a van. So
the younger generation doesn't get that, but it just every time I see that, it makes me laugh. I made a little JPEG that says, "For the love of God, vote Michael Kielsky for county attorney." and so I made a few versions like that, but scroll down a little bit and click on image special grids, that first link right there. Right there. And I just made a bunch of different fun ones for people to share. And you can click on that one, make it nice and big if you want. I've done by river one. Or you can Zoidberg, whatever. Again, it's just, just for the fun of it. If you guys ever saw the skit on Saturday Night Live, you might get it. If not, it means nothing to you.
It's funnier.
Maybe you guys are too young for that, and then the Zoidberg one might help. The point is, I'm having fun with this, okay? But I can't do it by myself. Early voting starts this week, Thursday. The ballots start going out. Some of you may have already seen ballots on there. I don't know when they actually start mailing them, maybe Monday.
The press will avoid talking about this like the plague until after early voting is out at least a week. So we need to keep doing this and everything just to doink them. Sooner or later, they're going to have to do this.
Well, so, I've been doing what I can for my race, letting people know that there's another choice. Look at the poster there. I mean, look at the, you got the Statue of Liberty, they've got the elephant, they've got the ass, that's fine, they can have it. I have the Statue of Liberty. That's good by me. And then I've got 3 symbols on there. People are like, what is it? What is that? That's life, liberty, property. That's what that is. Life, the peace symbol, right? Because if you have the absence of peace, you don't have as much life. Liberty, that's the leaf there. It's your choice whether you want to use it or not. Just that's your life. And property, that's a house. And it can also mean enjoy your weekend at your house with whatever party favors you have. Whatever you want. The idea is that I'm trying to be. People are telling me you're like the only candidate running for public office that's got a pot leaf on it.
County attorney.
I'm like, okay. It's not that controversial to me. I don't touch this stuff. I don't care about stuff. It's not about the pot. It's about the freedom. Yeah. That's what it's about. Yeah. I don't want to use it, but if you do, you shouldn't be put in a cage.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have here I've got like a couple hundred in my trunk.
I need 2 for one for me and Barry. We'll go out and be creative.
These are not yard signs. I don't want them for people's yards. I'm going to put these out. The idea is our focus this weekend to putting these signs up is to do one of Bernie's things. I'm going to put them up near various media studios, near the TV stations, near the radio stations, because they keep just ignoring this race. And once they see a few of these, and day after day, eventually they're going to have to say, we're going to have to talk about this. I hope it's not too late. But the idea is, look, I raised the money to get these things printed. You guys want to see more signs like that? Give me some money. I mean, I didn't see, most of you, I didn't see you at the various sign making parties, and we made some 4 foot by 8 foot signs, we made a bunch of yard signs, we did, you know, we've been cranking them out as best as we can by hand, and now we've got a few hundred of these that we're going to put out there. But again, this costs hard cash. I went down there and, you know, put a pile of cash on the counter to pick up these signs yesterday afternoon. So again, if you want more of this out there, help me out. Slip me a 10 or a 20 or $700. I'll take it. Because I want to do a whole other batch of these things, and get on my website and download some of the pictures, email them to your friends and family, whichever things appeal to you. Let people know that there is a choice. You might not be a libertarian, but you know. Look at what you've got in this race. You've got a guy that's I don't know, kind of new version of a religious right, neocon, weird con. I don't quite understand.
Tank commander. He's got mental problems.
Yeah, he's a tank commander. I mean, he tells me there's no such thing as a victimless crime, and he it's on the books. There's a victim. We'll figure it out, but there is a victim. It's on the books. And it's like, with that, you can justify anything. You know, the laws of Nazi Germany were legal. I mean, they passed it by their own laws, and they had judges that would enforce them. That's not me, and that's not where I'm at. That's another fun one that I made, just again for the heck of it. You know, his name is Montgomery. Montgomery Burns. You know, I just
is it Jay really Montgomery?
Yeah, it's Montgomery.
So you got Montgomery
That
there.
totally looks like it too. Some glasses on him, man.
Look, again, I'm having fun with this. I'm trying to talk about the issues. The issues being not pot, but freedom. The issues that if you are not hurting anybody else, it's risk. You should not be put in a cage just because there's a law in the books that says, well, if you do X, Y, and Z, and you didn't have the right permit from some government bureaucrat, we get to stick you in a cage for 5 years, or 10 years, or for life. That's what it's about. And my point is that, you know, let's have a county attorney of one of the largest counties in the United States say, you know what, I'm going to prioritize prosecuting people that hurt other people. Those are the people that we need to lock up. People that are doing everything from stealing candy bars, rape, and murder. Those are the people that need to be locked up. But not waste resources on locking up peaceful people that are not hurting anybody.
We're not locking up cops.
Holding them accountable.
Okay, again, in my book, just because you have a badge or a gun, or you have some kind of piece of paper, or you're a member of the government or a bureaucrat, you're not above the law. You're held to the same standard. There are not going to be two standards here. If you break the law, you need to be prosecuted. If you break the law and there's a victim, you need to be prosecuted.
A number of questions. One is, when's the next sign making party? If we can help you make signs out of
Well, right now we don't have on schedule. We might try to do another one next weekend. So we've been doing them the last couple Saturdays in a row. So we might do another one next weekend.
Maybe you could get some publicity from the New Times. I mean, they had a problem.
Crazy thing. Bill Montgomery says that crazy thing. And one of the things that Bill Montgomery says, well, if you don't like what I'm saying, you may vote for somebody else. And they're like, well, you know, it turns out there is somebody else in the ballot, that Michael Kielsky guy. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you know, they really are doing what they can to really not talk about this race. Frank had a question. You had your hand up.
Every libertarian I've ever known that ran for public office, I asked him, I said, what happens if you win? And the answer I've always got is, I'll demand a recount. Are you going to demand a recount?
Hell yeah, he's been the lawyer on all kinds of challenges.
Yeah, well, trust me. If count elections actually says I got more votes,
There will be a
I have to demand a recount. There'll be a clamor for recount. Sheriff Joe will have his, posse surrounding election department building, carrying signs demanding a recount. You can count on that, because the biggest benefactor of having a friendly county attorney is Sheriff Joe with all his antics. And sorry, I'm not gonna be all that friendly to Sheriff Joe.
Yeah.
You gotta hand that.
Well, I think Ernie pretty much answered it. I don't understand the New Times if they're not supporting you. I mean,
They're fake.
that makes no
Because
sense.
the promotion of a libertarian builds a base that they have to compete for the next election when there is a Democrat.
Yeah, they don't like libertarians. They completely.
They're stuck in the left-right thing, and they're on the left. They don't want you to
They
see
don't get it. You know,
that.
to them, the idea that we should have less taxes is somehow
They hate
insane.
libertarians, big time.
Back there.
Your slogan you have, the no victim, no crime, no fine thing is outstanding. Is there a way to put that on a big sign? I could do another banner.
Well, it's on there.
Oh, it's on there. Okay.
It is on there.
I can just see that as a mind-changing thing.
No victim, no crime,
Okay, never
no
mind. I can see
time,
the
no
bottom.
fine. And
Okay.
again, I make that very clear, because if there's no victim, then, you know, I'm county attorney. Sorry, that goes to the back of the list. We'll get to it when we're done with all the, do you know that, somebody told me this recently, and I don't know how accurate this is, I haven't been able to find another independent source that verifies this, but supposedly about 60% to 65% of murders in Maricopa County are unsolved.
Yeah.
What in the world is going on here? Oh, that's right, I forgot. Sheriff Joe is busy collecting, rounding up brown people. That's what's going on. Okay, he's busy rounding up brown people. He's investigating murder. Seriously, I mean, really, can we just, okay, even if you disagree with me about illegal immigration being an issue or not an issue, I say we don't have an illegal immigration problem, we have a welfare state problem. But even if you say, no, we really do, illegal immigration, but really, can we prioritize illegal immigration over investigating murders? There's a dead body. Can we just, please, can we just focus law enforcement in this county on prosecuting people that are hurting people,
Yes.
that are murdering people, that are raping, that are burglarizing? Can we just do that? Just, you know, that's what I'm talking about. I'm sorry?
Can we ignore Jose for a minute?
What's your opinion on the cancer doctor?
Well, that leads into my question: is how could you get to the Hispanic vote? Because because of the pot issue, the marijuana issue, medical marijuana issue, that turns my heart, but it might not turn yours. But the immigration issue.
My problem has been, again, the media realizes that my message appeals across the board, and they are just flat out ignoring it.
They are not going to give him attention.
And they're just, there weren't any, there's no debate schedules. I finally reached out to, I sent an email to the dean of ASU, the ASU School of Law, and the Phoenix School of Law, and said, hey, would you guys be interested in hosting a debate? And I heard back from the dean of the Phoenix School of Law, and they're like, yeah, we'll make a classroom available to you. Okay, so now, my next step is I gotta find a moderator, I gotta coordinate with Bill Montgomery and get him on board and coordinate a time. He's told me several times he's happy to do a debate, and he'll come to a debate. He's not afraid. He'll debate me, and that's one thing about him. I mean, in that sense, I gotta give him kudos. He had a debate with Martha.
Originally it was scheduled with you, but you were running for something or against it or something.
I don't know what was, that might have been. But in any case, so he doesn't mind debating, he'll put his views out there. But that's why he says, I think he actually means it. If you don't want what I'm selling, vote for another guy. If you don't want people prosecuted for committing victimless crimes, hey, why don't you vote for somebody else? Oh, I get elected again, I'm gonna go after these people that are committing victimless crimes. And that's what he's gonna say, that's his mandate.
What's your opinion on the cancer doctor?
Opinion on what?
I wish I could buy Castle. I don't know.
Would you prosecute a police officer who lied on the stands for perjury?
Well, yes, but the problem always with that is proof. The perjury is exceptionally hard to prove. And I don't want to get into it. I mean, if the lawyers in the room, if there are any others, know what I'm talking about. Perjury is virtually impossible to prosecute.
Michael, a few years ago, you and I saw Gary Johnson debate Bill Montgomery specifically on the drug war. Ever since then, I've talked to lots of Republicans and so-called libertarians about the war on drugs, and specifically regarding you running against
the wrong term there. It's the insane war on drugs.
The insane war on drugs. And virtually to a person, they will say, but we can't have some guy that's going to go soft on freaking drugs. My question to you is that, isn't it really the God Squad thing, and we've got to control people and punish them for the way that they feel and think and act that's really the problem?
Well, I mean, I'm sure that's part of it. That's part of avoiding some of
That's
these
extremely
people.
offensive.
But it's a generation thing.
But part of it.
You want to live next to drug dealers and stuff like that, fine, but I'm tired of it.
Well,
Do you live next to a drug dealer?
my point is this.
I'm not bodies from this stuff.
Without the war on drugs, they go
He
away.
wants to be an atheist, I'm an atheist.
I'm an atheist and I'm proud of it, sir.
The
fool believes there's no God.
I'm not even going to get into that. It's much simpler than that. It's much simpler than that. It's about freedom.
Thank you.
It's about freedom.
Thank you.
And that's why I say, and I'm very explicit about it, I don't want to prosecute somebody for possession of an ounce of marijuana or 300 pounds. I don't care about the volume. As long as they didn't steal that 300 pounds. If they stole that 300 pounds, they
Put it back.
after verbally. But that's the point. If I can't identify a victim, then what we're talking about is something there's a law in the books perhaps that says this thing, the bad thing, and we're going to lock you up and put you in prison, that thing, or having this bad thing, contraband. But again, I don't have to say that that law is invalid. I don't even have to go that far as a prosecutor. All I have to say is, okay, that's fine, that's on the books. We'll get to it
Are
eventually.
you referring to marijuana or just drugs in general, illegal drugs?
I'm referring
There's
to
a lot
all
of
drugs. All drugs. Again, I'm not talking about somebody coming up to you and putting drugs in your body against your will. There's a crime there. You're a victim. I'm not talking about somebody maybe building a drug lab, a meth lab next door to you and creating such a dangerous situation that they are creating victims, or even, or at the very least, potential victims, actual potential victims of their neighbors. I'm talking about the peaceful use of whatever, as long as you're not hurting anybody, as long as you're not creating a direct risk to other people. I'm not talking about drunk driving, and I'm talking about driving high on whatever drugs, because again, you're creating actual potential victims out there because everybody's in your harm's way. Okay, but I'm also not talking about somebody that you know has trace amounts of some drug that from days or weeks ago in their system. Again, let's be realistic. Let's prosecute those people that are hurting other people or exposing other people to actual danger, harm, physical. Again, life, liberty, property. They're endangering another human being's life, liberty, or property, or have harmed another human being's life, liberty, or property. Those are the people that we need to prosecute. And let me make another point that's really, really important. My focus when I'm prosecuting those people, my number one focus is going to be victim restitution.
Yeah.
I don't want to just go after somebody that's done harm to you, that's hurt you. But we're taking care of you. We're going to lock them up, and then we're going to tax you to pay for their housing and health care.
And then find them and you go.
Yeah,
and sex changes, you gotta pay for that.
well, I mean, the whole thing is insane. What we need to do, if somebody steals your candy bar, they got to pay you back your candy bar plus a little bit for the time and hassle. If they hurt you, they got to pay your medical bills. If they do damage to your property, they got to pay to get that repaired. Restitution should be the number one focus. And if the individual that we're prosecuting is not, based on the best assessment we can, is not somebody that is likely to hurt anybody else, then we don't need to put them in a cage. That cage should be reserved for those people that absolutely cannot control themselves, that will hurt again and again. They need to be locked up, and that's too bad, and everybody has to pay for it, and the victim in that case is unlikely to get restitution. I'm sorry about that. But the person has proven himself to be so dangerous that we can do nothing but lock them up. Everybody else should not be locked up. We have people in prison that have hurt nobody. That makes no sense. Even if you agree, if you insist that the law that you broke is an important law that needs to be enforced, but they shouldn't be locked up in prison.
Even if they're an atheist.
Why are they locked in a cage? Because, again, it hurts all of us. It hurts all of us. It costs all of us money. And really, for somebody who is peaceful, all you're really doing is you send them to criminal graduate school. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Because if they were peaceful before they went in, they're probably not going to be peaceful when they come out. That's insane. We got to stop that. We got to change priorities. And again, let me make one more point. Can you just imagine? Just imagine for a second when Maricopa County elects a county enforcement officer of one of the largest counties in the United States with with that kind of sign, no victim, no crime, no time, no fine, with a pot leaf on the freaking campaign sign.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? That's the critical mass. That's the event that might turn this whole insane war on drugs thing. Okay? What do you think that kind of message that's going to be sent around the country? It's time to stop the prohibition 2. It's time to turn that around. And that's, again, one of the reasons I'm running. Not because I care about pot. I couldn't care less. Never touch the stuff, never will. I couldn't care less. It's about freedom.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah. If you, here's a practical question that you're going to have to face if you get elected.
When I get elected, sure.
Yes. Let's say that you get elected. How are you going to handle the feds coming into the state and shutting down dispensaries? Like, for instance, over in Santa Barbara County, in Santa Barbara, they had 12 dispensaries. They have nothing left now. They all got shut down.
I can't do it all by myself. Okay?
I mean, are you going to be, do you have a strategy on that?
Again, it's a practical question. I'm going to give you a practical answer. There's probably not a heck of a lot I can do. Okay? I'm not promising you, hey, the day after I get elected, I'll be paradise. All your problems will be solved. I'm not Obama. I'm not going to be campaigning that kind of message, okay? That's not going to happen. The sea change will be simply the fact that I got elected and I'm running on that kind of platform, and that, in fact, the Maricopa County Attorney's Office under my leadership is going to be putting all those victimless crime cases on the back burner. We'll get to them in a few years when we're done with all those unsolved murders, okay? Can we do that?
Yeah.
That's going to be the sea change. I can't control what Tempe Police or Phoenix Police or Scottsdale Police does in terms of what bring to their local courts as opposed to the Superior Court. That's still going to happen, whatever it is. But it's going to start a whole new conversation, and it's going to be a huge deal because, again, a lot of the people that are right now running through the system in the Superior Court that are getting charged with felonies for marijuana possession, felonies. That goes away, and that's the big change. So I can't fix everything. I can fix the things that I'm going to have control over.
Would you be open to?
Real quick, you mentioned DUI prosecution. How are you going to interpret a marijuana swab within 4 hours of a medical marijuana card holder driving a car getting a DUI?
Well, to me, the idea, the focus is going to be is the person actually impaired. Okay. The way Arizona has the statute written, it's broad. Arizona has a impaired to the slightest degree. And the way that's been interpreted is that even if you don't have 0.08 for alcohol, even if you don't have 0.08, if you have less than 0.08, but there are objective signs of impairment, such as swerving all over the road, et cetera, et cetera. Again, my standard is going to be simple. If you've got a whole bunch of that, I don't care whether it's alcohol or it's drugs. If you've got none of that, if you simply have, oh well, there's a trace amount of the metabolite of THC in the body, and there's no indication at all that they were doing, it's going to be a judgment call. Those are going to be the toughest cases for me to make that call on.
The Scottsdale police officer that killed 5 people, last one he shot in the back of the head while he was carrying a grandchild 2 months ago. Would you kind of take another look at that?
Well, absolutely. Look, again, the idea is government.
Covered that one up.
Well, look, the government is supposed to be, the employees are supposed to be our servants, not our masters, and they're supposed to be held to a higher standard, not a lower standard. And our whole system has been turned upside down. You're held. Strict liability. If you break a law, strictly enforced against you. If some cop does the same thing, and they go, well, it's in the conduct of my official duties, then all of a sudden, in that case, that doesn't make sense to me. That's backwards. They're the servants. They're not the masters. If they're the masters, that makes sense. So let's be clear about that. Are they the servants? Or are they the masters? So yes, I would hold government employees and bureaucrats strictly accountable to the law. especially the criminal code. So yeah, I would take another look at that. I would take another look at any of these abuses of power, excessive use of force. The police are supposed to be there to protect the individual rights, including investigating a crime, alleged crime, where there's been a victim that's been harmed by some other person. That's fine. I'm good with that. And if they happen to be involved in a situation that that escalates, if use of force is justified, then let it be justified. But this stuff about unarmed people just dying all the time. I don't know.
Have you
Make this the last one, and Frank's tapping on the
Have you
shoulder.
thought about contacting LEAP law enforcement against
Oh, they know about
prohibition?
me. They know about me. Look, I'm a one-man band. I'm doing it all alone. So are you volunteering to be my campaign manager? Step up. Folks, I'm running for office. You cannot have missed the fact that I'm running for office. You all know it. Make sure you do at least one of the following things. And communicate that I'm running to your friends, families, neighbors, whoever. Just, even if you don't agree with me 100%, let them know that there's a choice this year and what I stand for. And I mean everything that I said. There's people in here that are going to disagree with me. That's fine. But I actually mean what I say. So number 2, help me out. Throw some money my way. Come to our sign making parties, help us put up these signs. We've got a phone bank going on this afternoon. Everything is online through Facebook and Meetup. On my website, there's a link on the side that's got upcoming events. So again, please, I need help. Communicate, donate, or volunteer. Thank you very much, everybody.